Hey y'all, welcome to Homesteading 101 with Ardell. I'm so excited to dig into this topic with you. You know, there's something so incredibly satisfying about the idea of living off the land, just like folks did generations ago. It's like rediscovering a simpler, more connected way of life. More and more folks are finding themselves drawn to the idea of homesteading, and I think a lot of it has to do with yearning for that connection, to the earth, to our food, and to a slower pace of life. Now, don't get me wrong, homesteading ain't always going to be picture perfect, like something straight out of one of my design books. It's real work, but it's rewarding work. We're going to chat about all of it, the good, the bad, and how to be prepared for whatever comes your way. From growing your own food to generating your own energy, we're going to cover it all. So grab yourself a glass of sweet tea and let's get started on this journey together. Now, one of the most appealing things about homesteading is the self-sufficiency it brings. There's just something so empowering about knowing how to provide for yourself and your family. Imagine walking out to your backyard and harvesting the ingredients for your dinner. That's the kind of satisfaction you just can't find at the grocery store. And it's not just about the food. Homesteading often means learning to do things for yourself that you might normally hire out, like fixing a leaky faucet or mending clothes. These skills not only make you more self-reliant, but also give you a sense of accomplishment and confidence. You know, Robert always says there's nothing quite like the feeling of building something with your own two hands, and I couldn't agree more. It's about taking control of your life and creating something meaningful with your own sweat and ingenuity. That's what homesteading is all about, building a life you're proud of from the ground up. Let's talk about food, y'all. When you think about homesteading, one of the first things that comes to mind is that beautiful garden, bursting with fresh fruits, vegetables, and herbs. And let me tell you, there's nothing quite like stepping out your back door and picking your own salad greens for dinner. But food security in homesteading goes way beyond just a garden. It's about having a plan for putting food by, whether that's canning tomatoes, freezing berries, or even learning how to preserve meats. It's about creating a system where you always have access to wholesome, nutritious food, regardless of what's happening in the world around you. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Ardell, that sounds like a lot of work. And you know what? It can be. But it's also incredibly rewarding. There's a deep sense of satisfaction that comes from knowing you're providing for your family in such a tangible way. Y'all, there's something so empowering about generating your own energy. It's like taking control of your own little world. Just like we choose the best ingredients for our family's meals, we can choose clean and sustainable energy sources for our homes. Think solar panels soaking up that beautiful sunshine, turning it into power for your lights and appliances. Or picture a gentle breeze spinning a wind turbine, creating energy right there on your property. These renewable sources aren't just good for the planet, they're good for your peace of mind. You're not at the mercy of rising energy costs or power outages. It's about becoming more self-reliant and knowing that you're doing your part for a brighter future. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Ardell, that sounds expensive. But honestly, the initial investment can pay off big time in the long run, and there are often government incentives and programs to help you get started. Homesteading is all about living in harmony with nature. It's about understanding that we're part of something bigger than ourselves and treating the earth with the respect it deserves. When you grow your own food, you know exactly what's going into it. No harmful pesticides or chemicals. And by composting food scraps and using natural fertilizers, you're giving back to the land and enriching the soil. It's about reducing our footprint on this beautiful planet and ensuring that future generations can experience the same joys of nature that we do. Every little step we take, from conserving water to using energy wisely, makes a difference. Remember those mason jars we all love so much? They're not just for pickling. We can use them for storage, reducing waste and adding a touch of rustic charm to our kitchens. It's about being resourceful and finding creative ways to reuse and repurpose. Now let's talk about organic farming. It's at the heart of homesteading, and it's something I'm deeply passionate about. It's about growing wholesome, nutritious food for our families without relying on harsh chemicals or pesticides. Imagine biting into a juicy tomato still warm from the sun, knowing that it's bursting with flavor and free from harmful substances. That's the beauty of organic gardening. We're not just nourishing our bodies, we're nourishing the soil and creating a healthier ecosystem. Organic farming is about working with nature, not against it. It's about understanding the delicate balance of the ecosystem and finding natural ways to deter pests and promote healthy growth. Think ladybugs feasting on aphids or companion planting to repel unwanted insects. And the best part, you don't need a fancy degree in agriculture to get started. There are so many resources available to help you learn and grow, from online communities to local gardening clubs. Just start small, experiment, and don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You know, Robert and I, we're all about making the old new again. And that's what reducing waste is all about. It's about finding new purposes for things we might otherwise throw away. It's about being mindful of what we consume and how we can minimize our impact. Composting is a big part of that. Instead of throwing out kitchen scraps, we can compost them and turn them into nutrient-rich soil for our gardens. It's like magic, seeing those scraps transform into something that can nourish new life. Recycling is another way we can reduce waste. It's amazing how many things can have a second life with a little creativity. We can turn old jars into storage containers, use newspapers to start fires in our fireplaces, and even repurpose old furniture into something beautiful and useful. Every little bit helps. Every time we choose to compost, recycle, or upcycle, we're making a conscious decision to live more sustainably and reduce our impact on the environment. It's about respecting the resources we have and making the most of them. And that's a beautiful thing. Living in our area, we know how precious water is, especially during those hot summers. Conserving water is something we're passionate about, and it's easier than you might think. One of the best ways to conserve water is by harvesting rainwater. Imagine collecting the rain that falls on your roof and using it to water your garden or even flush your toilets. It's like having a little piece of self-sufficiency right in your backyard. We can collect rainwater in barrels or cisterns, and with a little filtration, it can be used for a variety of purposes. And it's not just about collecting rainwater. We can also conserve water in our homes by fixing leaky faucets, taking shorter showers, and even being mindful of how much water we use when we wash dishes. Every drop we save today is a drop that's available for tomorrow. It's about being responsible stewards of this precious resource and ensuring that future generations have access to clean, fresh water. For me, there's nothing quite like spending time outdoors, soaking up the sunshine, breathing in the fresh air, and being in my greenhouse. It's good for the soul, you know? And that's what homesteading is all about, connecting with nature and living a healthier, more fulfilling life. When you're surrounded by nature, it's hard not to feel a sense of peace and calm. Homesteading allows us to slow down, appreciate the simple things, and escape the hustle and bustle of city life. It's about reconnecting with the rhythms of nature and finding joy in the everyday. But it's not just about mental well-being. Homesteading can also have a profound impact on our physical health. Growing our own food means we know exactly what we're putting into our bodies. No harmful pesticides or chemicals, just fresh organic goodness. And let's not forget about the physical activity involved in homesteading. From gardening to chopping wood to chasing after chickens, there's always something to keep us moving and active. It's a way of life that nourishes both body and soul, and that's a beautiful thing. Now, you'll know that homesteading is more than just a way of life. It's a labor of love. It's about getting your hands dirty, connecting with the land, and putting in a little sweat equity to reap the rewards. And let me tell you, there's no shortage of physical activity on a homestead. From the moment you step outside, there's always something that needs tending to. Whether it's hauling hay bales for the livestock, chopping firewood for the winter, or tilling the garden for a new season of planting, there's always something to keep you moving. And that's not even counting the daily chores like collecting eggs from the chicken coop or milking the goats. But you know what? Even though it's hard work, there's a certain satisfaction that comes with physical labour. It's about connecting with the land in a way that you just can't do from behind a desk. It's about feeling the sun on your skin, the wind in your hair, and the dirt beneath your fingernails. So, if you're looking for a lifestyle that will keep you active and engaged, homesteading might just be the perfect fit. It's a chance to get your hands dirty, build strength and endurance, and appreciate the simple things in life. Plus, there's nothing quite like enjoying a delicious meal made with ingredients you grew and harvested yourself. One of the things I love most about homesteading is the access to fresh, homegrown food. There's just something so satisfying about walking out to the garden, picking a ripe tomato still warm from the sun, and knowing exactly where your food came from. And the best part is, it's not just about taste, although that's definitely a bonus. Homegrown produce is packed with nutrients, free from harmful pesticides, and bursting with flavor. We're talking vibrant salads made with leafy greens, juicy berries straight from the vine, and root vegetables that taste like they came from another era. But it's not just about fruits and vegetables. Raising your own livestock means you know exactly what's going into your meat. You can ensure they're raised ethically, fed a healthy diet, and free from antibiotics and hormones. So, whether it's a Sunday roast chicken or fresh eggs for breakfast, you can feel good about the food on your plate. Homesteading allows you to nourish your body with the best that nature has to offer. It's about creating a sustainable food system for you and your family, and that's something truly special. It's about knowing where your food comes from and appreciating the journey from garden to table. Now, let's talk about something that's often overlooked but so important, our mental well-being. In a world that's constantly on the go, finding peace and quiet can feel like a distant dream. But that's where homesteading comes in. There's something so grounding about being surrounded by nature. The fresh air, the sound of birdsong, the feel of the earth beneath your feet. It's enough to melt away the stress of daily life. It's a chance to reconnect with yourself, to slow down, and to appreciate the simple things. And the best part is, you don't have to be a full-time homesteader to reap the benefits. Even if you just have a small backyard garden or a few houseplants, taking the time to connect with nature can do wonders for your mental health. So, whether it's tending to your vegetable patch, taking a walk in the woods, or simply sitting on the porch and listening to the breeze rustle through the leaves, make time for nature. Trust me, your mind and soul will thank you for it. Now, you all know Robert and I love a good renovation project, taking something old and making it new again. Well, homesteading is kind of like that. But instead of fixing up a house, you're investing in a lifestyle. It's about creating a life that's less reliant on outside systems and more in tune with the land. And you know what? That can be mighty good for your wallet too. One of the biggest advantages of homesteading is the potential for long-term economic savings. When you're producing your own food, generating your own energy, and learning to do things for yourself, you're reducing your dependence on outside sources. That means less money going out the door each month on groceries, utility bills, and even things like home repairs. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Homesteading does require an upfront investment. You've got your seeds, your tools, maybe even some livestock to consider. But think of it like this. You're putting your money where your heart is, investing in something you believe in. And over time, those investments start to pay off. It's like when Robert and I find a diamond in the rough, a house with good bones but needs a little love. We pour our time, energy, and yes, money into it. But in the end, we create something beautiful and lasting. Homesteading is similar. You're building a life of self-sufficiency, and that's priceless. There's nothing quite like walking out to your own backyard and picking fresh, juicy tomatoes right off the vine, or gathering eggs from your own happy chickens. It's a feeling of satisfaction you just can't beat, and it's a whole lot easier on the grocery budget too. One of the most immediate ways homesteading can save you money is by reducing your food costs. Think about it. Those grocery bills can really add up, especially with the way prices are these days. But when you're growing your own fruits and vegetables, raising your own chickens for eggs, maybe even having a milk cow or a few goats, you're cutting out the middleman and taking control of your food supply. And the best part is, the food you grow yourself just tastes better. It's fresher, It's more flavorful, and you know exactly what went into it. No harmful pesticides or chemicals. Plus, there's just something so rewarding about serving your family a meal made with ingredients you grew with your own two hands. It's like when we're designing a kitchen, we always say the heart of the home should be warm and inviting. And what better way to create that feeling than with a home-cooked meal made with love and fresh homegrown ingredients? It's the little things, y'all, that make all the difference. Now let's talk about putting those sunny days to work and shrinking those energy bills. One of the most appealing aspects of homesteading is harnessing the power of nature to power your home. By investing in renewable energy sources like solar panels or wind turbines, you're not just making an eco-conscious choice, you're making a smart financial one too. Imagine the satisfaction of generating your own electricity. Those monthly bills from the power company, they start to feel a whole lot lighter. And on sunny days, you might even find yourself with energy to spare. It's like bottling up the sunshine and using it to light your home. And the best part is, the technology for these systems has come a long way. It's more affordable and efficient than ever before. Plus, there are often government incentives and tax breaks that can make the switch even more appealing. It's like putting money back in your pocket while you power your life with clean energy. So, when you think about homesteading, don't just think about the garden and the chickens. Think about the power of the sun and the wind. They're not just forces of nature, they're forces for positive change in your life and your bank account. You know, one of the most rewarding parts of homesteading is discovering the joy of DIY, of using your own two hands to create, fix, and build. It's about becoming more self-reliant and resourceful. It's about looking at a problem and thinking, you know what? I can tackle that myself. Think about those little repairs around the house that always seem to pop up. A leaky faucet, a loose floorboard, a wobbly chair. Instead of calling a handyman, you'll have the skills and confidence to fix it yourself. And let me tell you, there's nothing quite like the feeling of accomplishment that comes with a job well done. But it goes beyond just fixing things. Homesteading often inspires folks to learn new crafts and skills. Maybe you'll try your hand at woodworking and build a beautiful planter for your garden. Or maybe you'll learn to sew and create your own curtains from repurposed fabric. The possibilities are endless. And the best part is that you're not just saving money. You're gaining valuable skills and knowledge that you can pass down for generations. It's about embracing the spirit of resourcefulness and creating a home that reflects your own hard work and creativity. Well, we've covered so much ground together, from the garden to the chicken coop, from renewable energy to the power of DIY. But more than anything, I hope you've gotten a glimpse into the heart and soul of homesteading. It's about creating a life that's more connected to the land, to the food we eat, and to the resources we use. It's about slowing down, appreciating the simple things, and finding joy in the everyday moments. It's about building a future that's more sustainable, more resilient, and more fulfilling. Now, I know homesteading isn't for everyone, and that's okay. But whether you have a sprawling acreage or a sunny windowsill, there are always ways to embrace the spirit of self-sufficiency and bring a little bit of that homesteading magic into your own life. So take what you've learned, dream big, start small, and see where the journey takes you. You might just be surprised at what you can achieve and the joy it brings. May our actions today lead to a brighter, better tomorrow. For homesteading recipes, visit ardellesplace.com. For open-minded, mature audiences, visit ardell.com, where a diverse array of content spans across various categories. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.